Oops. I'm so sorry. I'm late. I admit it. And I have no good excuse. Okay, here's my excuse. I didn't say it was a good one. I was playing Sudoku and I lost track of time. That's what happened. That's the truth. Yeah. I do Sudoku. I try and do Sudoku every morning. Somebody told me once that it was really good for keeping your brain, like active. I love it. I do Sudoku and I play Candy Crush and I play Free Cell. I think I told you I got very excited when Indy told me that Free Cell always has a solution. So now I never give up on a free cell. And guess what? I have not yet in months found one that I couldn't solve. Apparently, if you do it right, they're all solvable. I didn't know that. I thought sometimes you just get cards that you can't work with, but apparently it always works out. Good morning, Opa. Good morning, my darling. Well, my darling and Opa, but my darling Opa as well. Oh, it's Saturday. Today's party day. I'm going to a 90th birthday party today for an old friend of mine, old and friend of long standing, both. Yeah. I got to tell you, it's like, how did that happen? How did he get to be so old? Yeah. How did my grandson get to be 10 years old? I mean, come on. Time just keeps flying. I was invited to a graduation party for a young lady whose mother I knew when she was a kid. What? No, seriously. The grandma worked for me when she was 16. Oh, speaking of which, I was out to dinner. Yes, out to dinner. It's so cool to say that. So I was out to dinner with friends last night, and this very handsome young man comes over to the table screaming, Sandy Lynette's, it's Sandy Lynette's, and starts hugging me and kissing me and telling everybody at the table how wonderful I am. I paid him so much, but it was worth it. No, I didn't pay him. It was a delightful young man who used to work for me when he was a kid, whose mother is a friend of mine. Hats off to you, Tom, and Deanna, your gorgeous little wife. Do you like my mug today? This was a present from my cousin Kevin. Yeah. Mm. So, what can I tell you? Oh, I know. I missed this yesterday. And at 9 o'clock last night, it was the 21st hour of the 21st day of the 21st week of the 21st year of the 21st century. Whoa, mind blown. Yeah, I missed it. I can't believe it, but at least I remembered to tell you about it today. Um, what can oh, Fritzy report. Fritzy report. Yeah. Um, as I was getting ready for tennis, after I was with you in the morning, I got a call from the home where Fritzy is to say that once again, she tried to get up from her wheelchair by herself. She forgets. She really does. Because when I'm with her, she must try a dozen times to either get out of bed or get out of her chair by herself, and she just can't. She just can't balance. She can get up with help, but not by herself. And she tried again, and apparently this time she did hit her head, but she's fine. Don't worry. So they, by law, again, have to call me and have to call hospice, which they did. Um, I said, okay, look, I'm coming over right after tennis anyway, because I have to pick up a new brush for her and some hair gel for her cute little curls and stuff like that. So I'll come in and check on her. They had her in the nurse's office. Remember when you were a kid and they sent you to the nurse's office and your mom had to pick you up in the nurse's office? Do you remember that? Yeah, and you were so happy to see your mom, A, to get out of the nurse's office, and B, because you didn't feel good and you wanted your mommy. Oh, I loved being picked up at the nurse's office. Anyway, I picked my mother up at the nurse's office and took her back to her room. Um, the back of her head was a mess, but she felt fine and she got a clean bill of health again. The woman is amazing. So I sat there with her in her room. What are those wishes for Fritzy? Yes, bless her heart. She is amazing. No, seriously, she's amazing. So I gave her a manicure yesterday. Okay, truth be told, all I did was cut and file her nails. I didn't paint them. I'm not I'm really good with felt pens. If I could do her nails with felt pens, I would give her manicure every day. But somehow those are just not the healthy things that you want to put on your nails, right? And besides, nails in a home should be just plain nails so that they can see, by the color of her nails how she's doing to you. Anyway, so sat in her chair and I sat in mine, and I pretended I was, what was the name of the commercial? What was her name where she would dip your hands in dishwashing liquid, whatever dishwashing liquid it was, because it was so good for your hands. I don't remember. Joy, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we had a great time. She had a manicure. I called my brothers so that she could speak to them for a few minutes. Yeah, and somehow I had to translate everything that they said. Like she couldn't hear them or something. I don't know. And she kept looking at me and kissing me the whole time. It was kind of embarrassing, but delightful. I love to read the comments. Madge, palm olive, yes. Thank you. See, that's why you guys are here. Good morning, Jenny. Good to see you this morning. So that's the Fritzy report. She had a fall. She got some blood, but she's fine. And once again, and she got a manicure, and she was so proud of herself, and she was showing me her fingers afterwards. Yeah, she's so cute. Let's see what else. Oh, yesterday was go shopping day. Yeah, we got a new refrigerator and a new microwave for Casita Sandita. And I put in a message to the fix-it guy and asked him to please come out and install them. The refrigerator box is going to be something special in a couple of weeks. I don't know what yet, but it's as big as I am. So it's got to be made into something, right? Yeah, I got to make a fort. That's all there is to it. I hope Max is coming soon because now he's 10. I don't have to build the fort for him. I can build the fort with him. Yeah, you did that, right? Built forts out of cardboard boxes. When my kids were little, we built a fort that started at the front door. So if you open the front door, you could not get into the house without going into the fort. Good news is we didn't have a lot of company that week. The fort went it went into the entryway, went down the entire hallway. So to get to the bedrooms, you had to take the fort. Yeah. Okay, so my husband didn't love it too much because he was quite a bit larger than us, but the kids and I had a blast in it, crawling through it. And there were like places where we could even stand up in it. Oh, it was a great fort. Today is Sherlock Holmes Day. So see what you can discover today. See if you can solve a mystery. You know, my favorite mysteries are the kind where you lost something, but it's got to be in the house somewhere. And then suddenly it turns up. I lost what was then my favorite necklace, and I was so distraught forever. And then when it was time to move and we moved the refrigerator, somehow my necklace got kicked under the refrigerator. So when you're looking for little things, always move your refrigerator. That's all. I mean, that's my hint for today. Then, sorry, dropped something, had to pick it up. Then today is Being You Day. What a cool day is that, huh? I mean, we spend so much time trying to be everything everybody else is or everything else wants us to be. Today is Being You Day. And I printed this out because I thought these were such good examples of ways to observe Being You Day. Okay, so listen to this. Try these today. Do something you've always wanted to do, but never dared to do. What if your one day becomes today? What if your someday is today? Yeah. How about give yourself a judgment break? Woo! What if every May 22nd, if not more often, you decided to have a day when you did not judge yourself at all? You just let yourself be you. Yeah. And judged it all is okay if you're going to judge it all. But what if you just didn't judge yourself for anything on one day and just let it all be okay, exactly the way it is? Write down 3 things that are different about you that you're grateful for and post that on social media and tag it Being You Day. Let's see how many people play that game. Create your own How to Be More of Me, your go-to list, and start with a list of what gives you a sense of ease and joy and makes you relax into yourself. How about that? Make a list of what you would do if you were truly being you. Great way to celebrate the day. It's also Buy a Musical Instrument Day. And I know I've told you the story, but it just makes me smile every time. I've bought a few musical instruments in my life, but not for me. It's always been for other people. I remember going with my son-in-law's mother, my machatenim. Remember I taught you that word the other day? That's the family of my family, machatenim. So I went with my machatenim and we bought a guitar that was about this big, but it was an actual guitar, not a toy, for Max when he was born, because we wanted to have a little baby guitar because his parents were musical. But the most fun I had buying an instrument for Max was when I took him to the music store, this huge music store, so we could buy a drum kit. Now, unlike most grandparents who buy a drum kit and put it in the children's house and drive their parents crazy, I bought the drum kit for my house because I knew that I would love every minute of his banging around. And we spent probably an hour in the music store with this little teeny kid and those big sticks trying out every drum kit in the place, knowing that there was only one small enough for him anyway. But the guys at the music store thought he was so cute because here's this little kid who can actually drum. I swear to you, some kids are just born with that. But we had to give away his drum kit eventually. He got tired of it and he didn't want to be a drummer. I think he's learning to play guitar. I'm not sure. Anyway, music will always be part of him, whether it's singing or snapping his fingers. Did you see this? Look at that, huh? Trigger finger Sandy is snapping her finger. Just saying. Thank you, doctor, for giving me that shot in my hand. Okay, what else? In 1843, the first wagon train, the very first wagon train, left Independence, Missouri, headed for Oregon. So when you think of wagon trains, don't you think of maybe, I don't know, a dozen, 20 wagons, and, like 30, 40, 50 people? That sounds like a big wagon train, doesn't it? No. This first wagon train had between 700 and 1,000 people in it. That's a lot of people. Yeah. Could have been like a long-term party. That'd be kind of cool. Karnak the Magnificent in 1992. Karnak did his last magic in 1992 on this very day, Johnny Carson's last show. How can you not miss that guy? He was so much fun. And then Letterman, and now we miss Letterman. And do you know who was the Tonight Show before Johnny Carson? Do you know this? It was Steve Allen. Yeah. And do you know who Steve Allen's sidekick piano player was? This is how I know these things. Yeah, it was Paul Smith. It was my friend Lolo's daddy. He was that 7,000 foot tall piano player who played on the Steve Allen show every night. Yeah. Paul Smith. Google it. Seriously, listen to his music. He's so good. Jazz pianist, Paul Smith. The best. Happy birthday to Arthur Conan Doyle. Yeah, I know he's not alive, but he did give us Sherlock Holmes, so he will live forever in what he left behind for us. It's also the birthday of Robert Gordon Sproul. He was a UC, University of California president. I didn't know that. All I did know is that when I lived in Hedrick Hall at UCLA, there was a hall right near us named Sproul Hall, and now I know who it was named after. So, happy birthday if you're still alive. I don't know. Okay, this was my favorite thing today. Laurence Olivier's birthday, the actor. It's not so much that I care about Laurence Olivier, but I saw that he was born in one of my favorite cities on the planet. You ready for this? He was born in Dorking, Surrey, in England. The city's name is Dorking. Dorking. Yeah. And right near Dorking, we saw a sign that said, ready? Dorking Filkin. No, seriously. Dorking Filkin? Doesn't that sound like a dirty word? We couldn't stop saying it. We kept driving around those, what do you call those, cloverleaf things over and over just so we could read the sign again. Dorking Filkin, Dorking Filkin. Yeah. So what we were doing there was really cool. I'm trying to remember the name of the city. It's like, when you have that name right there and you can't think of it. During World War II, my former father-in-law, who was also my best friend, Fred Lynette's, I miss him more than I miss anyone, anything. Fred, in heaven, I love you still, and I miss you every day. Anyway, when Fred was in World War II, he was billeted somewhere near Dorking Felkin and in Battersea. That's what it was, Battersea. Oh, I thought of it. I can't believe it. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it was Battersea. So we decided that it would be really cool, as long as we were somewhere near there, to go and see it if there was anyone in the city who could remember Fred Lynette's. Okay, so it was, like probably a fool's trip, but he spoke of that place so highly. We drove there. Okay, so we go into this town and it was like bizarre because everything had that name. There was, I'm thinking it was Battersea. There was Battersea Motors and Battersea this and Battersea that. We didn't know where to go or who to ask. So we did what anyone would do when they're in England. We went to a pub. Yeah. So we went to this pub. It was only like 11 o'clock in the morning, but there were already quite a few people in there. And we walked over to the bartender, sat down at the bar, and told him who we were looking for. And we asked if Battersea might not be right, but it's really close. But we said we were looking for members of the Battersea family because our father-in-law, had been billeted there during the war, and we wanted to say thank you. And did he know any people who still had that name? He said, well, just sit down and have a pint, and before you know it, there'll be somebody in here who's a Battersea. So that's what we did. We ended up spending hours there. Did we find anyone who knew Fred? Nope. Did we find some Batterseas? Yeah, one or two. They had no idea what we were talking about. But it was the friendliest town I have ever been in. And everybody wanted to buy us a pint because we were the visiting Americans, right? It was so cool. And I got so wasted. I don't know if you remember me telling you that I'm like 4'10". I can't handle a whole lot of alcohol. So now I get the idea where half pint came from. They were so making fun of me. She's not a pint, she's a half pint. Get it? Yeah. Anyway, then driving home on those on those clover leaves and stuff, and going through Filkin Dorkin was even funnier. Dorking Filkin and Filkin Dorkin. And we saw signs that said, I swear to you, this is true, no drink driving. That's what they call it. Drink driving. And we clearly, at the beginning at least, were drink driving. So we pulled over to enjoy the scenery and blah. Okay, anyway, those are my adventures in England. I thought you might enjoy that today. I certainly enjoyed it. Oh yeah, Jack Parr was there too. You're right. Sorry, I'm reading my notes a little late. My little messages on the side there. Oh gosh, I love when you guys write me messages. That was from Opa, by the way. Nope, it was from Ginny. You're right, Ginny. Jack Parr also did a nighttime show. What else? What else? Oh, I wrote down MacGyver it just because I wanted to say to you, isn't it cool that there was a TV show? I don't remember the TV show really well. I can't even tell you right now. One of you will know who the actor was who played MacGyver. But how cool that the show was so popular that the main character's name actually became a verb. Like, I don't know how to do that. Well, just MacGyver it. When I had my balloon affair store, we said that all the time because so many things would come up and we didn't know how to fix it and we didn't have the right things to fix it. So we'd MacGyver it. Yeah. So see what you can MacGyver today. Yeah, and I also made a little note to say I'm missing my grandson really badly today. Those of you who had to go through a year or more of not seeing your grandchildren, I don't know how you did it because when I haven't seen my Max man for a couple of weeks, I think I'm addicted to love. I think I'm addicted. I miss him so much right now. If it wasn't so early, I would call him and make him be on this with me, but it's a little early for him. All right. Finally, I want to talk to you about this morning's word art. You got to check this one out, especially if you have kids, grandkids, nieces and nephews, neighbors who are young people. I feel like I sound like my parents' generation when I say these kids and their video games. That's all they do is they play video games. They're on their computers or they're on their phones and they're playing video games, video games, video games, video games. That's all they do. Max was here and he was playing a video game. And I said, that's enough. You have played that video game non-stop. That's all you do. You need to stop playing video games. Let's go outside and play a game. Let's do something else. Why do you play all the time? And he just looked at me and he said, Grandy, what's in your hand? I said, yeah, so he said, you're always on your phone. And not just talking to people, you're on Facebook all the time, and you're on Instagram, and you play Candy Crush. I learned it from watching you. Oops. He's right. That phone, I told you, there's, Indy taught me that there's a disease now called nephonia. Nephonia is where's my phone? I have no phone. Where's my phone? It's nephonia. Yeah, it's pretty serious. People do get attached. So that brings up an interesting question. And while you're being you today, think about this one. What else are our children picking up from us that we don't realize they're picking up from us? And we would prefer that they not pick up from us. Yeah. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Nomophonia. Oh, I said it wrong. Okay. Nomophonia. Thank you. Yes, Ginny, that's my point. We can't do without our phones. We have to have our phones all the time. And yet we get frustrated when the kids want to play video games all the time. It's their way of connecting with their friends. Except it's no live connection. I don't want them to lose that. I don't want them to lose that. FOMO. Yeah. Okay, you get my drift. All right, my friends. It's been a long morning already. I have a lot to do to get ready for the birthday party this afternoon. I think I covered pretty much everything. Yeah, we didn't talk a lot about what we got from our parents, but I'm sure that'll come up again. In the meantime, from Battersea or wherever it was, here's looking at you, kid, with a sip and a smile. And I'll see you on Sunday. Bye bye.